thinking of all his characteristics. And he wanted to, or she wanted both, but they're one consciousness. But yet it's like our brain. That's a reflection of it too. Our brain has two hemispheres. That's a reflection of God's consciousness being part masculine and part feminine. And a lot of things I was shown is what my third book is about. It's 19 chapters, and it's coming out within 1 or 2 months, pretty soon. But I'm sharing this connection when I merged with God before anything was created. And from this perspective, I'm sharing what God wanted, why God wanted to create the way he did. And it answers a lot of things that I didn't understand about life. And I'm amazed with it because it's not for me. It was given to me. And I know that this is a gift for the world to help us understand life better and help us understand what it's all about. And so I hope that it blesses everybody who reads it and that they will have a better, fuller understanding, and it would help them in your life to make better choices. And so I will turn it over for anybody who wants to ask me questions. Yes?
Did your husband understand any part of your books?
It's funny. I mean, I live with him. We've been married 35 years, almost 36. And this makes him uncomfortable because he was raised in the church. This was so odd and so strange that he didn't know what to do with it. He knew I was telling the truth, but he didn't understand it. The things that I was saying that was different from what he was taught, just like it took me a long time to embrace this. He still has trouble because he feels uncomfortable with it. He understands some of it, but he still wants to believe the way he was taught. Yes?
You talk about the list of hardships that you and your guide were looking at. You talked about ones that were first that were really tough. Do you remember what some of those were?
Not in particular for me what I was shown, but I know the things that had pain were the ones on top that were difficult. And I know in my memories of heaven, I didn't know what pain was. I didn't know what hardships was. This made no sense to me because in heaven it's always light. There's no darkness in heaven. There's nobody ever even doesn't cross your mind to want to hurt somebody else. We loved each other. So this world was topsy-turvy from what I understood in that realm. So I'm here on earth, and I almost feel like I have 1 foot here and 1 foot there. I'm remembering the love in that realm and then trying to figure out how this world got so upside down and everybody wants to hurt each other and fighting and killing and just trying to make sense of this. And that's why I feel that I need to share my experiences because it should, and that's what its purpose is to help us to get back on track. Did that help? Yes.
So what is this book, what is the title of it?
The third book?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Shine, I did make a copy, that's what it will look like. Shine to Light, Lessons, Shine to Light. Lessons from the Holy Spirit to Heal the Nations. That's what it's about. This is what I received through the Spirit.
So people talk about this big shift where the consciousness of the world will be more advanced and loving. Do you see that the rigidness of all the religions will eventually soften and people will be more, because you said all these faiths go to the same source. Do you see more of like a worldwide acceptance and appreciation of that?
After 9/11 happened and I prayed to God, I was shown about Islam. I was shown that the people who have turned their religion into being radicalized and killing are completely opposite, upside down from what its intentions were. I was not shown how many people do understand it the right way, but I do know that what they're doing in spreading violence is absolutely opposite. I was shown what Islam is supposed to be. And I merged with Gabriel of I merged with him. I had so many experiences. But I understood through Gabriel what the intentions of Islam is supposed to be. And then when after that experience, I looked on the internet because I didn't understand what do they teach each other. And I immediately could see that there are different things that are taught that was not in line with what I learned through the Spirit. And I saw that, God gave us free will. That was one of the main things. So we have the choice. We can choose to hurt each other, or we can choose to heal each other. And that is in our hands. A lot of violence happens in this world because we choose it, maybe not me or somebody out there was choosing these things, but God lets it happen because they're learning experiences. But when things get really out of hand and very violent is when God intervenes the most. The more violent it becomes and the more we get closer to destroying ourselves, God will increase His presence in the world. And this makes me think of like Jonah. When he was sent out into the world, he didn't want to go to Nineveh and tell the people to behave themselves. And the whale swallowed him. And then he was spit out on the beach, and he told the people, and they straightened up. I am hoping, because I was even shown a person to share about Islam, and for 10 years, I've contacted that person, a Muslim, and I tried to share as much as I could to try to help him see, because he was teeter-tottering on the fence between understanding it and being violent. And I saw him change through the 10 years. He improved. There was a sign he's listening, and he gave me many, many signs that he was listening to me. And so I'm hoping, because this person is well known throughout the world with Muslims, and if they will listen to him as he's changing, they won't listen to me because I'm not a Muslim. And I'm a woman, that they would not listen to me. I have pre-birth memories with this Muslim. I remember him from heaven. And I remember planning to come here to help him because I saw in that realm that he would be caught and he would be sort of brainwashed, manipulated into following the more radical side. And if I didn't come and help, he would fall down with them. He would fall out of God's grace. And I didn't want that to happen because he has a wonderful heart. And he has so much love in that realm in heaven. He was like Jesus. I don't think he's Jesus, but his heart was so strong. He came here, he's on earth, and he's doing all he can to spread peace. And the things that I have told him, he's switched and becoming more peaceful and spreading the message. And it makes me happy to see things change. But there's still so much more I need to share with him, but I need to talk to him one-on-one. And I have not been able to, face-to-face. I need to know for sure I'm talking to him and not someone else. I spoke with him through a forum that he was on. And I do know that he did hear my message because he would do things that he would say he mentioned he had problems with this and that. And I would tell him in letters, because I found his address and I mailed letters to him, and he would do what I said to do. He had a website, a different one, and it had a picture of a child blew up and had pieces of this child. And I said, Islam is supposed to be teaching peace. I said, what type of emotions are you trying to draw out by showing that picture? People were angry. They want revenge. They're upset that this child was blown up, an innocent child. Is that the message of peace? And the person who posted that picture said, I am not removing that picture. He was sure. He says, there's no way that's going to stay. Well, within a week, that picture was gone. And who would remove it but the one, that I had told him, that he's not spreading peace. That's spreading revenge, anger. And so it's things that we choose in life, which is part of what Socrates was saying, is what we choose. We plant the seeds and we sow we reap what we sow. We plant hate, prejudice, all the things that we go to war, we destroy, or we can learn from each other. We can learn to tolerate each other, learn about our differences. But I share about the oneness that I understood. So if all people would see the oneness of all religions, how we're all connected, they would rise above this mindset of war. And that's my whole mission, is to bring back peace, bring back unity, oneness of all of us, and love. So, does that answer? Yes. Yeah.
I think after the recent elections, we seem to have gone even further back.
I think so too.
And I'm wondering, do you see anything that's going to help to improve us as we go through the next few years? Because I think we've reverted to some things that were very ugly in the past.
It blows my mind that he even became a choice. So to see him go all the way, it just blows my mind, because there's so many things that contradicts what we want to go in towards peace and unity. And he would bring fear and yeah. But I know through life there's got to be a better purpose. That some people need to experience the bad before they change and see the light, and they make those changes. Sometimes we have to go all the way to the bottom. That's what I learned from my son, who is a very difficult challenge. No matter what I did to try to help, they won't listen. They won't change. They have to feel and experience. And I saw this about Islam, the ones who are violent, not the peaceful ones. There is a difference that they misunderstand, but I saw what was shown to me, that the ones who are radicalized will go all the way to destroy the last human standing. Because if there's disagreement between just two people, and they want everybody to think as they do. And I saw what that would lead, their mindset would be destroying the whole world. Do we really want that? But that's where they're heading and what they're doing. But I don't know how far it has to go before they see they were wrong. Their mindset of killing is wrong. That's not what Islam is teaching, but that's what they think it's teaching, and it's not.
But we're buying into it. So that's what I'm afraid of. I mean, are we going to be blown up in the next 6 years, 5 years, 2 years? Because there's so much hatred that's being spread now. Is there any vision that you see for a change?
It's all our choice, but I was shown, the more violent we become, the more God will intervene. And that's what I think is why so many people in the last 30 years are coming out with their near-death experiences, because they're trying to connect with the things in the spirit to bring that message of unity and love back to this world. But we need to keep bringing it and sharing it and spreading it, because the more we embrace love, the more we're going to get away from that mindset. But those people that are violent need this message the most, but it's so difficult to reach them because they think they're right and everybody else is wrong. But they don't see where they're heading. So somehow they need to be taught, not hated, not killed. We need to help them to understand what they're choosing and how it's not in line with love. I mean, the Quran talks about God as compassionate, merciful, forgiving. Every chapter starts with that. And what they're doing is not a God of mercy. It's not compassionate and loving. So they need to relearn it. Yes.
answer you. I think the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, is using our current political situation to show us the old consciousness which our leader
And it doesn't work,
represents.
it doesn't work.
It's like looking in the mirror and you don't like what you see.
Yes.
It's ugly, it's frightening, it's pushing us, it's like birthing, it's pushing us to evolve.
It is.
And I do think that there's a positive end to this, because I do think that's how the universe is using this person to show us we have got to move in the direction of light and love.
But we got to know that there's better choices and not to
Well-
fall prey to this
Well,
violence, you know.
people that can see that. People that are still in the darkness can't see it yet, but
That's why
eventually
it's
they
called
will.
shine the light.
They
That's
eventually
why.
will, because the absence of light is darkness, but when the light is on, the darkness leaves.
Right,
So it's
exactly.
It's gonna,
I'm trying what I can. I need more people to shine that light. Spread it into the darkness. Okay. Raffles. This is no, I'll call the number. I looked at this point to me. Okay, it's 3489896. No, we had some.
896?
896.
9896, that's what.
9896. Yay. Got Socrates. Take one more to the bottom. This is 9892. Okay.
So if we could give her a good hand for
Thank you for having me. It feels good to let it out because it's all bottled up inside. It's wonderful to get it